Hey there, welcome back guys. This video is going to be for those that have the GEPRC-20. This is it right here. I've been talking about it for the longest time. It's been in a box and I figured, hey, let me take it out of the box because what if it doesn't work? And actually, it didn't work. I tend to keep a lot of things in the box because I felt I wasn't ready for it, but got to be ready, right? Special thanks to Rupert for sharing some rates with me that worked really well. So one of the issues I was having with it was binding it to the DJI goggles and getting the OSD features to show. And that didn't work. So I reached out to GEPRC, which actually where the drone came from. But unfortunately, what they had said, here's what they said. They said, let me just do this so that you guys can actually see the message. They said there are a lot of YouTube videos out there that can help you and show you how. I'm like, are you shitting me? I'm like, you've got to be kidding. And apparently that was their approach. You would think the manufacturer would say, hey, you know, this is what you need to do. Go, you know, touch that, do this, do that. And then, you know, that should resolve the issue that you're having. But nope, that wasn't the case. So I even sent them a video. I was like, hey, so they actually sent me a link, as you can see here, because the issue I was having is, as you can see, it says, I would set it to Imperial, but there was no HD because, you know, you want it to be in HD so you can move the OSD features, you know, to the left, to the right, and it's just cut off and so big. And also it wasn't loading. So again, they said, go to YouTube. All right, so I said, well, this is great. You know, YouTube, who doesn't go to YouTube, right? Like, who doesn't want to go to YouTube? So I click on the first video.
If you want certainty,
of course,
you want CertaPro painters.
You know, you got a little ad. You always have to watch ads. I don't mind the ads. You know, they help the content creators. But it wasn't the ads that drove me crazy.
Enough for my receiver, really.
I had to scrub through this video and then still nothing that came of value. Really cool guy, just talking about stuff. And no solution, right? So then I said, you know what? Let me try the other link. So I click on the other link, and interesting guy he's just talking. He spends like about 7 minutes, which is good. 7 minutes is actually good for a video. And he's just talking about the flying of the drone. I'm like, I want the rates. I feel like, you know, in a Terminator, I'm like, your rates.
Give them to me. Now.
You know, it's like, so I'm like, I just want rates. And I also want, you know, to set this thing up. All right, without any further ado, let's get started. No, we're not going to start with this one. And so I figured, hey, it's funny when they said you should try YouTube. I'm like, really? I make YouTube videos too. I was like, literally, I thought I could enjoy someone else's solution and then just, you know, but instead it was like the freaking Rubik's Cube. You know, I had to like figure out how to like undo it and fix it. And anyway, on that note, all right, well, without any further ado, let's get started. So this is what you want to do. So unfortunately, when I plugged this in, it wasn't working, kept beeping. The beeping's fine, you can always shut that off, but it just wasn't working. It wasn't syncing, I wasn't seeing anything. So what you want to do is, here's what you want to do. You want to go into the CLI, because that's going to take you to where you need to go. And what you're going to click on, now remember, the SBUS is the version I have. This is for the PNP, okay? You'll see in the note, PNP version. I don't know, and I can't say if this will work for the other versions. It should, because it's Betaflight and it should be universal. This is for the PNP. PNP means plug and play, okay? Because apparently not plug and play because I ran into complications, all right? But it is plug and play after this. So you're going to click on the SBUS, okay? And this is what you want to do. You want to copy it. Command-All, Control-C, just copy the text, okay? And then you're going to open up Betaflight, but you want to make sure the drone is connected and you have the blue light, as you can see. We can see it maybe more that way. All right, there you go. Let's see. Yeah, see a little bit of blue light. You want to make sure the light's showing. Can't really see it. It doesn't really do justice. But you get it. You see like some reflection of light shining through, maybe right about. Yeah, right about there. Okay, so we're going to click copy that, and then we're going to, what are we going to do? Open up Betaflight, okay? In the meantime, while Betaflight's opening up, I just want this to happen for you guys in real time. So I want to connect the goggles so that, and everything else, so that you guys can see what I see when the time's right. Did Betaflight load? Yes, Betaflight should have loaded. Interesting. That happens sometimes. I'll quit it. Fortunately, it didn't load. There we go. Nope, didn't load again. Crashed. It could be because of the Sonoma release. All right, click connect. Okay, so I'm going to go to the CL. Remember, we're getting the firmware so to just reflash everything because it's not working. But after this, it's just going to work. Okay, and then whoops, that's save. I thought I copied the latest. Okay, Control C. Okay, and then go back into Betaflight. Just bring that back up a bit. We won't be needing that for a bit. Okay, I guess it just, oh, it's all there. All right, so let's go back down. Just couldn't see it. I wish they just set it so you could see it. Press enter. Okay, it's gonna save everything. You'll see it, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, how it's just not there. Okay. Any minute, any day. And this is a really nice drone. It's like the BMW of drones. If you go from the Pavo Pico, I'm still going to be practicing on my Pavo Pico because I need more time. And this is a really expensive drone. But the beauty of the Pavo Pico, your skills are transferable. So, everything from there moving forward, there'll actually be a video on how to change the propeller motors, and again, it's transferable. You'll be comfortable. You're like, oh, I've done that before. I know I can do that. I can handle it. And you don't want to, be Curious George with the man in the yellow hat on this drone, because it can be expensive if you break it, and I don't want to break it. But I'll show you guys when it's working. If it's working, it should work in a bit. Wow, that's a lot of data. Okay, so now we should connect. Okay, I'm just going to run down everything so that you guys can see what needs to be done. Ports, we leave it because by default it's set to auto, which is great. Okay, configuration, this is fine. Leave everything. You want to make sure, see there's a name, craft name, CineLog20. You want to make sure that OSD is on and air mode is on. Just make sure you see that. As for this part, the beeper, if this is not off, you're going to be beeping like crazy. So, just decide. I'll probably leave the USB on, right? Maybe armed, and no need to beep when ready. I don't know why by default they leave all these beeps on because, as you know, this thing just drains the battery, right? Arming, you don't need, you decide. But I'm just shutting this all off because I know what's going to happen when you turn it on. It's just going to beep like crazy. Okay, and then we're just going to connect again. It's weird. All these videos you watch don't really show you the steps. They're like, well, this is what you want to do. Just set that up and configure it. I'm like, come on, I need to. So this video is going to make up for all the other stuff that you just couldn't find. Okay. So again, we did ports, configuration, leave the battery, presets. Okay. We'll get to that in a second. All right. After we, PID tuning. This one's a little bit tricky, but I did change some settings for beginner rates. Okay. So to say, so I changed from 70 to 50. So all that gets changed to 50 for me. And this is a nice beginner rate, to be honest with you. Makes the drone a little bit more manageable because I just can't, for the life of me, 400, and some people can. Some people, I'm not Barry Allen, the Flash. I need for things to be slow. I can operate in bullet time, but in real time, if that makes any sense to you guys. And for this, I'm just going to leave these at, I don't know. Someone said 22. Rupert said 22, but I'm just going to put it at, leave it at 5. 0.5. Well, not 50. 0.5. And play with it. Play with the numbers. Now, remember, this got me to get the drone manageable as a beginner. Remember, if you're a novice and you're like doing flips and tricks, this video really isn't for you, but watch because there's we have actually a viewer who's more experienced, and they kind of throw us a bone every now and again, which is amazing. Thank you for that. And we try it and see if it works, and then we share it with you guys. TPA 04, leave that. Throttle limit, I put to scale because I want it to scale up. Just can't have it working on the flash. And then for this, I believe I put to 75, right? And remember, these are all preference, but at least it's some sort of starting point, you know. The throttle expo, you know, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, put 10 and then save it. You can change these numbers, okay? See how the scale goes? Someone had mentioned just look at the scale, but I look at it, I just see, I don't know. Yeah, I just see. Anyway, I'm pretty sure some of you see the same thing too, but it's interesting. But the rates are there, and these rates work to some extent, and play with it. These are the rates that you want to play with. Again, I'm going to save it. Okay, receiver. All right, make sure you have serial and SBUS, and make sure telemetry is on. See where it says telemetry? Leave that on. Okay, and you want this arterial 1, 2, 3, 4 modes. All right, now these are the modes that you want to set for your remote controller stick. Okay, so arm's going to be UX2. Leave that like that, and it'll be from there to right about almost at 1500, right about there. Okay, angle will be UX1. Okay, and then all the way from, I don't know why it's over there, from there, angle mode, and that's the mode you want to be in as a beginner. It works really well. Angle mode will be 1400, right about there. Okay, beeper doesn't work. I tried it. Okay, and then we want to select this so we can see the other horizon. Okay, we're going to add a range, and horizon will be 14 to almost 18. Okay, 14 to almost 18, which would be right about there. And then we have, flip over after crash will be 15 to 2000. Let's see if we have, that's just a button, so because sometimes it shows up, but someone said you don't have to use it. So let's just see, flip over after crash. But it's nice to have it active, this way you can just shut it off, because sometimes the error does appear. Let's see, OSD, camera control, flip over after crash. Add range, so this will be 1500, right about there, to about 2000. Where's 2000? Okay, right there. All right, and then save it, and then we're going to scroll back up, hide the unused ones because you don't really need them. All right, so then we have that beeper doesn't work. I wish it did. Just double check, save it. All right, now we have our motors, and then we have our OSD. So as you can see, there's no HD, right? You have Imperial, which is fine depending on your metric system, or if you're British, you just select British. Anyway, so there's no HD, and that's why you don't want to put the settings in now, because if you put them in, if you update it, it's just going to erase everything. Okay, so all this that's there is just going to be gone. All right, so now what you want to do is you want to go into presets, okay, and then you type in, oh, it's right there. But if you don't see it, just type in OSD, and it's right there. It says the green one, default 4.3 OSD settings, okay? And we're just gonna select it, and then just click pick, and it'll install everything for you. Okay, save and reboot. It's just gonna work its magic. And now when you connect, everything should work to some extent. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to go to OSD. And you see, now if you scroll down, see there's HD. Now watch what happens with the screen. Everything becomes manageable. Okay. All right, so there it is. So now if I click on, let's see, throttle limit. I like to see the throttle limit so I know if I'm flooring it. Throttle position, sorry. And what else do I like to put? I like to put core temperature, which works really well. Craft name, I just like the craft name. And Remember, this is all preference. Rates, I think, should be shared. It must be like a beginner range because, you know, not everyone can fly like that. Some people fly heavily, some people fly lightly. But, you know, you find a rate that's best for you, but start off somewhere basic. Okay, so so then we're just going to go to battery voltage. And then that's enough for now. I'm just going to click save. Okay. It's saved, but as you can see, it's manageable. Now you don't see everything because it's all compiled on top of each other. So I'm going to move this right about there. I guess I'm hungry. All right. Well, at least I'm not Barton. If I was, this video would go viral. It's the only way to go viral today. Do something mundane. All right. See CineLog20. I like to, it doesn't matter. Remember, it's all preference. And then move that over there, like, you know, just center it. And of course you have battery voltage, which can go right about there. Okay. Oh, that one is actually throttle limit. Okay. All right. Throttle. This is throttle limit. And then we have the battery. Okay. And I believe that's it. For now, for me, you know, this is all, remember, it's all, these are all preference because some people like more data than others. All right, so now that we have this, we're going to click save, right? And then we're going to connect the goggles. I'm going to connect the goggles to the phone so that you guys can actually see what's happening. Remember, I like to do everything in real time so that everything happens for you guys, right? So that if it's happening here in real time, then it should happen for you the same way. And if it's not, then it's got to be something else. And remember, this is for the PNP version of the GEPRC. I just need to connect something to the computer. This is an app called Reflector. It actually allows you to see basically everything that's on my phone. And you can share the screen, and it's just sort of like a screen sharing so that you can see what's inside the goggles and see what's happening on the phone. But the only way to do that is to launch this really cool app called Reflector. But in order to do that, everybody has to be on the same network. So I have to make sure that, of course, I go into settings. And this way I don't have to record. No wonder why I'm not on the same network. This way I don't have to press record on the goggles, then edit the video from there, and you guys just see it happening in real time. Or maybe in bullet time if you're one of those really fast flyers. Okay, so now that we've launched, we have to launch Reflector again, so that you'll see everything happening in real time. Okay, so now I'm just going to swipe down. You swipe down on your phone, and then you click on screen sharing, and then you'll see your reflector. And then hopefully it'll ask you for a password, and there it is. And then you go back on your phone, and you'll get a prompt to put in that password inside here. Hopefully, if all goes well according to plan. If not, you could always do via the cable, but then that doesn't really do justice. So again, you have to do it again. RF reflector, MacBook Air. So it's RF4. RF stands for reflector. And then it works its magic. And then hopefully it'll ask for a code on your screen. Ah, there we go, 4376. And it's a one-time code. It's not like you guys see it on YouTube. Oh, I know the code to his computer. It doesn't work that way. It's just the code to the screen sharing app, which is really cool. So now you see what's on my phone. So now what you want to do is, if you ever use Reflector, you go into settings and you don't want the phone to go to sleep. So you click on display and brightness, and auto lock, it will be set to never. Okay. So now I can open up the DJI Fly app. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll turn on the goggles so that you guys can see what's happening, and you'll see that nothing loaded. Okay. And so to get it to load, while this is doing its magic, I'm just going to type in notes. I actually found this in one of the what do you call it, manuals. You know, sometimes you have to read the manual, but that's what you go to YouTube for, right? So you don't have to read the manual, but sometimes you do, unfortunately. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. And then, so we want to do, I'll leave this text in the description below. Copy that text, okay? And as you can see, we're just going to do that there. We should have seen something already, but we don't. Connection guide. Connection. DJI Avata. Ah, you know why we're not seeing anything? Because the drone is not on. And remember, this has to be done fast, because if the drone overheats, you lose that window of opportunity. And then you're pretty much like, you gotta wait for it to cool down, or maybe have a fan on it. The temperature in here is 76, which is really weird because we do not have the heat on. I guess something, you know, with the humidity that's happening in the air. Okay, there we go. Now there we are. It should load any minute. It's connected to the O3 air unit. And then if we click go fly, there, see, no data, there's nothing. So to get everything to load, what you want to do is, of course, I got to get this out of the way. Go into the CLI, okay? And then, see, you heard that beep? It beeped because there was a USB connected to it. I'm going to paste that code in, and then press enter. Okay, you see, let me just move this big phone out of the way. Say I pressed enter, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to type save. And if I type save, if all goes according to plan, see, voila. Now you've got all your data. You have got my pitch, I got that and that. And then, even better, let's see if this baby flies. And let's say that you don't see your data, you don't see the OSD configuration on your screen. What you want to do is go into your goggles, right? And then go into your settings, okay? And then you go into, I believe it's display, and then canvas mode. And then you want to select HD. Now watch what happens. When I go back, see, everything is there. And the only reason why we saw what we did in the beginning, when I first turned on the goggles, was because we had moved that. So, you know, because remember, by default, it actually throws everything way at the top of the corner of the screen, so you're not going to see anything. So remember to cut and paste the code, and also to actually do this to the goggles so you can see everything. And so if you don't quite understand, I'll just explain to you. When you go into settings, display, canvas mode, normal. Sometimes it's in normal for some folks by default. See, you see how you can see 16.8 and air, so normally you wouldn't see that, but we only see that because we moved it. Because remember, when you add a new feature, it goes way at the top on the left-hand side. Okay, so again, settings and display. I'm going to go from cameras mode normal to HD. And then, see, everything can be seen, which is pretty cool. All right, so without any further ado, let's just keep moving forward. All right. Remember, everything happens in real time. So if it doesn't happen for you, there's, you know, maybe you don't have the PMP version, the plug and play, or maybe you're using something else, but watch it again and see what happens. So I'm going to have to fly this without the goggles, but that's okay because I'm just going to be flying in the living room. What's the temperature? Wow, the core temperature. Oh, that's Celsius. No, we don't want Celsius. Only because, well, I'll change that later. Only because it looks like it's really cool, but it's actually burning up. So we go back into OSD, move this window out of the way, and I'm going to click on, see, Imperial, and then somehow move this up and press save. Okay, it's saved, and now there we go, 109 degrees Fahrenheit. Yep, it's burning up. And once it gets to about 160, no matter what your battery is, you're pretty much done. And see, it's already cooking. You can probably cook some green eggs and ham with this thing. All right, so I'm gonna go. Let's see what we have. Do we have throttle position? Do we have? Did I put? I think I may have forgotten to put something. Yeah, I forgot to add the before it burns up. I forgot to add the fly mode, because I want to know, if I'm in angle or another mode. So now, as you can see, somewhere here, if I press save, fly mode, where's fly? Yeah, fly mode should be there. Let me just move this thing out of the way. Save it, and let's go back up. It's probably over here somewhere. Huh, that's weird how it's not saving. Of course it's not saving because I took the drone out. Ay. All right, remember, everything happens in real time. You've got to be quick, because if you're not, you lose it. All right, let's see. All right, that should be there. Save. There we are. We'll disconnect it and connect it again. Connect it. Probably at 120. 120 is okay. 120. Again, it says connecting. 120. Let's see, what do we have on our OSD? The battery, voltage, etc. All right. Closed successfully. Let's just quit it. Force quit. Probably because it, was changing settings when I thought we were connected and not, and it was looking for the things to connect to. All right, connecting. Core temperature is 115, 117. It's cooking. It's cooking. Failed. Why, I don't know. Which is really weird. That's connected. We'll just disconnect the battery. Let it work its magic. Sometimes disconnecting it could work. Connecting. Okay, that's fine. That's so weird. Betaflight configurator, force quit, and connect it again. We don't need that. And now we're just going to go into Betaflight again. Should load. Connecting. It's weird. It says successfully opened one, but nothing really happened. Okay, let's quit it. Successfully closed. I hate when that happens, because that usually means it's like a software glitch. Close, take that out. Push that in, maybe push it in a little bit more. Okay, and you see on the top right, it says Betaflight. That means it's there, there we go. All right, so that worked, plugging it in, taking it out. Whoops. Maybe it's my computer. Okay, all right, so now we're just going to go into OSD. And as you can see, we have here, I'm going to scroll down and click on the fly mode, okay? And then press save, just to make sure it loads. See, angle, that's what I want. And it has all the other ones in there too, okay? And now I'm going to close it. And of course, when I load this up, okay, at least I gave the drone a little bit of time to cool down, because as you saw, it heats up really fast. And it's hot in here. It's about 76. And the heat's not on. I don't know why that's happening. All right, so this is just loading. And then, of course, I'm going to turn on the, you see what I see, okay? And then we have reflector. So I'm just going to close this, close all that so that you guys can see. There it is over there. Something sunk. Voila. So you see we have angle. So when I switch the remote, air, angle, and I think one of them would have been horizon. If I added horizon. I'm not sure if I added horizon into the settings. I don't need horizon right now, but you can add horizon. We'll add it in the end. But for right now, we're at 118 because I don't think I'll be flying into the horizon anytime soon in the apartment. And you want to make sure. What's great about the throttle thing is, look, it tells you when it's up. So if it's at 0, you know that it's in the correct position. So I'm going to leave that here, take this BMW of drones with me, and you guys will see everything. Okay, so here I am, drones here. I think I'm going to get the camera so that you guys can see it's actually flying. There are no special effects happening here. Everything happens, again, like I said, in real time. All right, so this is really great. This video, will work wonders for some. And as you know, it's not always going to work for everyone, right? I mean, some folks will have, will be like, hey man, you're the best, thanks. And others will be like, what the fuck, and I can't, why that happens, I don't know. All I know is that it's working now, and it was working when I left, right? So on that note, just remember, don't forget to add horizon. As you can see, there was no horizon because I don't think I'm going to be flying in horizon anytime soon. Okay, so on that note, where's the drone? So that's why I went to go get the camera, because you can't really see anything. I mean, now I can. There, and put it right about there. All right, let's see. Let's get this baby up in the air. So now we're going to load it. MSP is loading. That's loading. That's the goggle. Of course, the goggles are connected. Sometimes you have to throttle. Let's reboot it. Again, sometimes this happens. You think it would be an isolated experience with just the Pablo Pico, but nope, it's not. This happens with this too, unfortunately. I guess it's like it's just basically a drone glitch. Okay, and once everything loads onto the goggles, there's the beep. There's another beep. Everything bad RX, which I've seen that error before. All right, so now we'll make sure that we're in, not angle, but horizon. Angle mode. All right, so you see it loaded. So sometimes you just got to take the battery out and load it back in. So now this is the tricky part. Again, I say it all the time. I can't say it again. I will help you get your drone back up and running, but I do not give flying lessons, all right? It's a really nice drone. Whoops. Yeah, so that's that. So it's back up and running, and that's it. So this will get you up and running. As for the flying, I would recommend, more time in the simulator, and hopefully, you guys can be a better pilot. Okay, so there you have it. Everything works. I'm just going to show you the final settings because, just make sure that's on. Because as you saw, I didn't activate horizon mode or any of the other features. And if you want those features, you'll have to just watch this part, okay? All right, so we're just gonna make sure that your GEPRC is connected to the computer, and you'll know because you'll see a blue light. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see it. Blue and red, I believe it is. And you're gonna click connect. And once it connects, I'm just gonna run everything down so that hopefully you will be able to match these settings. Ports, leave that by default. This is what it is. If you don't see this, just copy it. Just pause the computer or take a screenshot. Or maybe you have another machine and you can just do it from there. All right. Configuration. Now, sometimes I noticed when I flashed, the OSD is off. That stays on. So you should see yellow there and yellow for ARM mode sometimes. And then armed, I only have it to beep when it's armed. You can set it to beep when you have over here on the right hand side. This is to turn off beeping because it's going to be beeping like crazy by default. Okay, all that stays the same. For some reason, none of these change when you are reconfiguring things. Okay. All right. So on that note, moving forward, the only thing that'll change are the beeps, and sometimes that shuts off. All right. Battery power, leave it. Thank goodness that doesn't change. If your OSD HD part disappears in the OSD section, there will be a link to show you how to reactivate it. All right, PID tuning. So this would not have been possible with one of our viewers, and Rupert. Rupert, thanks, because I'm able to have a little bit better rates, and I just need a little more practice so I can make it up the stairs. So this is what I changed. I put 50 here all the way down, put 400 there all the way down. I might try 300 just to see what happens. TPA 4.0, I mean 0.40, okay. I put the throttle limit to scale, and then I put throttle MD to 0.5, and then that one, the throttle breakpoint is there by default, left it. Throttle limit 75, and thanks to one of our viewers, I actually knew where to put these settings, because again, thank you, because this part of the video would not have been possible with one of our viewers, and I was actually able to fly the drone up the stairs slower. I think I need a little bit slower. I'm trying to get the left and the right configured so that it's not so sensitive. I want to desensitize it so that it just goes a little bit, not so heavily, not so heavy on the foot, All right, so, and then throttle expo 0.10. And sometimes guys share on the comments section like, hey, put throttle at, point whatever, but I'm like, which one? Because you have throttle limit, you have throttle mid, you have throttle expo, you have throttle limit percentage, then you have expo, which is inside the rate profile. So if you're going to share something, great, we love it, but just specify where it should go. And that would make things a lot easier, not just for me, but for anyone else looking on the search of for the holy grail of beginner rates. Okay, so on that note, we leave that. We go to receiver. Now, this one will be by default, as long as you downloaded the right firmware. It'll say UART and SBUS. Now, sometimes this happens when you flash the drive or when you're updating the firmware. Telemetry might be off. Make sure telemetry is on. Okay, and then that's it for that. And I think there was one more. I think it was in configuration somewhere down here. Yeah, so you want to make sure OSD is on there, and sometimes air mode is on, because sometimes, again, that will shut off when you reflash the drive or do it through the CLI. All right, so now back here. These are the buttons. Just going to turn on my, so we know which ones are which. This is my lanyard. Actually, if you can check out my flight of the Avata, I think it was like 3 or 4 months ago when I crashed it. That was the lanyard I used. And it actually does help. I put it away, but I put it back on now because I might take this baby outside. All right. So this will just sync in about a minute or two. Not a minute, but just it'll. So once it goes beep beep, we'll be able to hopefully the goggles don't have to be on, because then we're just come on, you got this. Any minute. Oh, there we go. All right, so and this is great that the goggles don't have to be on, because then it saves a little bit more battery and it gives you extra time. Okay, and if you wanted to see here in the presets just how the 6 works, you go into, I believe it was it setup? No. Was it receiver? See? And it tells you when I move it, watch. That's not so bad. It's a little bit slower, and that's the yaw. See that? So you go back in and adjust the yaw, but maybe that's a little bit. See, I want it to fly like that, a little bit like that, and I wanted to do that. But you see, it could be so sensitive that if you go all the way, it's just going to be spinning. And remember, angle mode, you're not going to be. Oh wow, interesting. I was going to say do flips. I don't know. We'll have to see when I go outside. But you see how slow it is? Like, see that? It's so slow that you could be stuck like this. Wait, let me go, let me out. I can't. So, which is okay, you know. But most guys flip like that, super fast. But I want it to be like one full rotation on like a second. All right, which works well. And then you have there. Oh well, I don't know. I'll try it when I go outside. Or maybe it's just always in acro mode in the simulator. All right, back to the modes. All right, so just so we know, ARM, okay, is going to be this button here. That's going to be aux2. See, it's working on the screen when I press it. Okay, and then we have angle mode, which are your modes. Is this button right here? Okay, and that's aux1. Watch when I press it. See, it boops on the screen. Flip over after crash. I don't know. I don't think this drone has the capabilities of that, but I added it anyway. So watch when I press it. Oop, I guess, where is it? Flip over after crash would be, this one. This button right there, that would be aux3. So this is aux3. Okay, that's aux3. So if it flips over, if they maybe add it, I don't know, probably just a software thing, right? And then for beep is aux5, which is that button right there. That's aux5. Watch when I press it. See? Beep, 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 beep. And I'm not sure why I put the range so far out, since that's the range that it only allows, but I just threw it that way anyway. And that's it for that. Then you have motors. Then you have OSD. And OSD, as you can see, it's all there. The only thing that's weird that disappeared after reboot was the HD. So you see it's glitchy. Sometimes you'll have the OSD off in those settings that I showed you previously, and sometimes you'll have your HD gone. But thanks to this video, you'll be able to add it again if you want to, you know, things get bonkers. And that's what happened with this drone. Straight out of the box, it had a different firmware on it. I'm like, what do I do? And then GEPRC was like, well, we recommend that you go to YouTube. I'm like, really? And there was no solution. So on that note, now you guys can go to YouTube. All right, so on that note, so remember, OSD may disappear or turn on and off. A video transmitter, leave it. Black box, leave it. CLI, if you like these settings. Oh, that's because it just transferred. Because remember, I had it set to, I believe it was in the configuration. If I click connect, I think it was here. See, I have it set like, I think the armed, not armed, but like anytime it transitions, it's gonna beep, 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 beep. I like that. All right, so back again to black box. If you like these settings, so watch, it'll do it again when I transfer. Let's see this, watch. Oh, actually the microphone's here. See, kind of neat, right? And my baby, don't crash, don't die out on me. Yeah, so I think I need more time on the Papa Pico. And if you like these settings, you just go dump all. Okay. See, it's like, what are you doing to me? And then you just, when you're done, see it's right there. And then I'm just gonna click save, save to file, and just call it whatever. New settings, right? That's it. Oh, with Lou rates, right? And there's a link to these rates and everything in a GitHub, so you guys can just download it anytime you want. And that's it. Anyway, I hope this video helped you and you'll have a better experience with getting your GEPRC to work, and hopefully your skills will be transferable from the simulator to the drone. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below, or ideas for other videos. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.